Please join me this Sunday, February 13th at Central Park Resale and Gallery, 22 West 66th Street, for a fun wine tasting and shopping event from 2 to 5 p.m. At this event, I'm going to have a wonderful range of wines that you can taste and purchase, um, ranging from everyday wines to some for very special occasions. A few of the examples of the wines that I'll have are this Wattle Creek Viognier. This is a lovely, light, aromatic white wine that would go perfectly with shellfish or white meats like pork or chicken, and it can handle it. It starts off citrusy with a citrusy aroma, but it has a little bit of a sweet finish, even though it's crisp and minerally on the end, but it has a little bit of a sweetness to it that would make it also a good wine to stand up to spicy food like Asian cuisine or spicy soul food. So this is one of the wines that we'll be pouring, the Wattle Creek Viognier. And Viognier has a little bit of a citrus taste, but it also gets kind of peachy, has some pit fruits on it like peach and apricot. It's a really beautiful and interesting wine. I'll also be pouring the Bouchard Année et Fille Puy-Fuissé. This wine is a made from the Chardonnay grape in the Burgundy region of France, and it's one of my favorite French Chardonnays. It's an elegant wine that would be great with white foods, white fish, or hearty white fish, shellfish, chicken. It's got a bit more, it's crisp and minerally. It's much drier than the Viognier that I mentioned before. And it's got a little bit of a heavier body in your mouth. It's a little bit more heavy and luscious in the mouth, but it's still crisp and minerally and has a really clean, dry finish. It's a very pure and delicious wine. So for those who like wines more on the crisp, sort of minerally austere side, this would be the wine for you to try. Then, my favorite California Chardonnay from the Boisset collection is the JCB number 81. This wine is so delicious. 1981 is the year that Jean-Charles Boisset, our CEO, first came to California from Burgundy, France. Thus the number on this wine. And this wine is made in the style of a Burgundian Chardonnay, but it has a touch more, it's a little bit more heavy and full-bodied from the ripe grapes that get ripe in the California sun. And it has a touch more oak on it. The Puy-Fuissé has like 20% new oak, and the rest is older oak, which just gives it a kiss of nuttiness at the end. This has 25% new oak, so it's a little bit more nutty and has a little bit of more hint of vanilla and spice on the finish and the flavors, but it's still a very elegant and lovely, delicious wine. I would serve this maybe with more creamy dishes with more creamy sauces and that are kind of buttery and rich, but still white meats and fishes would be great with this wine, or creamy cheeses, medium, not too hard, but not too soft cheeses, maybe, like a brie or camembert, something in that style. So those are three of the white wines. There will be a few others. And then I'd like this wine, especially for Valentine's Day, a pre-Valentine celebration, because it's just a fun wine. This is the JCB French Kiss Sparkling Gamete. This is a sparkling red wine made from the Gamete grape, which is seen in Beaujolais wines, and some people might remember Beaujolais Nouveau, which was very popular back in the 80s, but this is a little bit different from Beaujolais Nouveau, but it's along that style. It's a fruity sparkling wine that's just fun. It's only 7.5% alcohol, so it's not as high in alcohol as traditional sparkling wines or white wines are, and so it's a fun wine to just drink for people who like their wines a little bit on the sweeter side, but it's not cloyingly sweet. And it's also fun to have as a dessert wine. It's really good with chocolate or poured over ice cream for an adult, like ice cream float. Remember those, the Sunday floats that you could get at the ice cream parlor? I do that sometimes with this wine over vanilla ice cream, and it's just a luscious dessert. Okay, and now for the reds, I'm going to be pouring this Gigondas, Maison Bourchon, Duc de Montfort, Gigondas. Gigondas is from the southern Rhone region of France, and you can think of it sort of like a Chateau Neuf de Pape, baby Chateau Neuf de Pape, but it's a little bit different. It's got a blend of Grenache and Syrah grapes, and these grapes come together to give you a wine that's got black cherry fruit, ripe black cherry fruit, but also a little bit of the Mediterranean herbs. The southern Rhone is close to the Mediterranean, and so some of the plants that grow there impart the soil with this herbaceous sort of flavor. And there's a little bit of like green herbs on here. You think rosemary, thyme, and even a hint of white pepper. That's a signature flavor and smell that you get in the Grenache grape. This wine would be good with, I would do this with like ratatouille, eggplant, lamb chops that are kind of mildly seasoned, or fish even. I think of this wine, I would serve this kind of like you would serve a Pinot Noir. It's on the heavier side of a Pinot Noir style, but I would think of this like that. Like it could be with some fishes or lighter meats, filet mignon, like leaner meats, leaner red meats. And those are a few ideas, but this is really a yummy wine. It's very interesting, different, and concentrated. Then I'm also going to be pouring the Deloach Cytoni Vineyard Zinfandel. This Zinfandel is made from red Zinfandel was grown from vines that were planted back in 1895, some of the oldest Zinfandel vines in America. Zinfandel is known as America's indigenous grape because it is a grape that has been here. The vines were planted here before any other vines that were brought over from Europe that we know about, like Cabernet Sauvignon or Merlot or Chardonnay. Zinfandel is America's indigenous grape. And this particular vineyard has been here since 1895. So the vines are very old. They have a lot of concentration. The fruit is like ripe black. It gives you kind of like ripe blackberry, a little bit of raspberry. It's got some red fruits on it too. It's kind of a good blend of red and black fruit. It has a bit of herbal flavor, and it would go well with like this. I would do this with pizza for one, but it can even be with more serious foods. Like I would do this with some lamb chops, but more spicy lamb chops maybe than I would use for the gigondas, because this has got a bit more fruit, so you could put a little bit more spice on your foods that you have this with. It would also be good with things that you would eat, that you would drink an Italian wine like a Brunello or a Barolo with. So you could also put this with, let's see, what else would I think about this? Maybe like mushrooms, truffles, that type of thing. A pasta with truffle sauce or truffle cheese. You could have this with hard cheeses that have truffles in them. So that's what this wine is all about. It's one of my favorites too in the collection. And then the heartiest, boldest red that I'll be pouring is the Lve Cabernet Sauvignon. This is John Legend's wine. This wine is just absolutely delicious, and it's made in collaboration with Raymond Vineyards, which is our winery that is really specializes in wonderful Cabernet Sauvignon. This wine would be good with more like a ribeye steak or prime rib or richer, like fattier meats, because it's got a lot of tannins in it that can stand up to fat, and actually it tastes better with kind of rich foods. It's got notes of like chocolate and caramelized figs, blackberry, cassis, raspberry, and yeah, this would be good with short ribs too. And this is a wine that it's good to taste, but I would decant this first. It could also be aged. And speaking of decanters help you to add oxygen and aerate the wine so that it mimics aging it a little bit. And we have this really fun decanter here with the heart shape cut out. This is by Resale, which is known for wonderful crystal and glass products that are very suitable for wine appreciation. I sell this too on my Boisset Collection website. So if you're interested in purchasing any of these things before the weekend, reply to this email and I can get you all set up. Last but not least, I have these earrings, which we also sell, that have little hearts and colorful crystals hanging from the bottom, cascading down from my ear. They're really fun for Valentine's Day. Those are on our website as well. And perfume. We have JCB fragrance. And this is one that I've tried. It has a greenish, herbal, fresh, clean note. And it's called, what is the number on this one? This is JCB number 11, Josephine. And this is named after Jean-Charles Boisset's daughter, Josephine. So these are a few Valentine's Day gift ideas, and I hope you come through this Sunday, February 13th at Central Park Resale and Gallery to visit with me and try some of these wonderful wines.